What's going on, everyone? This is Marco once again here on this journey of spreading my wings out there. Currently going through military OCS process, and also learning a new career path in aviation. And as you guys probably have been following, there are many steps that I wish people would put out there and help out, those that, really don't know much about aviation. But that's why I'm making these videos as I progress throughout my aviation career now. And, now going through it, aviation has probably been one of the most difficult things that I've had to do, not physically, but more like there's a lot of learning to do. And as you guys are aware, I'm currently in the process of going and getting my private pilot license. And as I mentioned, right now, everyone has always mentioned, and I also highly recommend it. Make sure you go and do your FAA Knowledge Exam for whatever category you are looking forward to, such as, first go for your private pilot, go take your private pilot FAA exam, go take your instrument exam as well, your commercial, and depending on what other licenses or certificates that you're trying to look forward to, go into the aviation website and, make sure you're taking those exams. For this one, I'm going to show you guys on how and where to go for being able to schedule your FAA knowledge exam. If you are already in a flight school or like a university that is teaching aviation, most of the time you typically don't have to worry about it because the school there will do it for you. They will help you out and pretty much guide you your own way. If you are fairly new like myself and you are kind of trying to get into the aviation process and stuff like that, you will have to learn a lot of other steps. For me, with ATP, obviously ATP helps me a little bit. I'm still not enrolled at ATP. They do have a wait list. But, like I said, while I'm on the wait list and while I'm going through the OCS process, I'm trying to, pretty much kill two birds with one stone and be able to get my knowledge exams out of the way. So that way, when I go through flight school, all I am doing is focus on flight schooling, and that is it. So that way I can take my flight schooling just by itself, learn everything that I have to learn, and then be able to just take my check ride. You will not be able to take your check ride to get your license or certificate without your FAA knowledge exam. So just be mindful about that. That's why a lot of instructors always strive to make sure you get your knowledge exam out of the way. I know many people are able to do it where they go to flight school and then in the middle of their lessons they have to stop their flight schooling because they have to now study for the flight exam, the knowledge exam. And obviously that does take a little time. So just be mindful about that. You don't want to, interrupt your flight schooling, especially when you're learning how to fly, because, the instructor there is, there to teach you. So that way you're able to succeed and pass your check ride. So just be mindful about that. So let's begin, and I'll show you guys how to go into being able to schedule your knowledge exam. So you'll go to Google, you'll type in PSI FAA. Obviously, it's going to be the first one on there. You'll click on it, fairly easy. I don't know what PSI stands for. If you know, feel free to drop down your comment. Like I said, if you already have a login, feel free to sign in. This is mainly everywhere where your testing exams will be. So you have your login. If not, go to create an account. That's what you will do. You'll go to create your account. It'll give you your Privacy Act and stuff like that. It'll give you your verification on your eligibility. Your FAA tracking number will be under your Federal Aviation Administration website. That's where you'll get your FTN number. The FTN number is also known as your FAA tracking number. That's for all that information. You will then put your first name and your last name, of course. Once you get verified, they'll give you some acknowledgments, your paperwork, a reduction act burden statement. All you're going to do is click agree, Here's going to be your user registration that you will go on. Obviously, you'll verify your name, your middle name, your last name. And then on the right side, it gives you your stuff that you need to put in for your password. Obviously, you'll have to put an email so that way you're able to log in, get notifications through your email as well. So you put your email, you'll put your username, and then you'll put your password with a confirmed password as well. Like I mentioned on the bottom right, it gives you everything that you need to put for a password. Your email could be whatever it can. Your username, same thing, as long as it's valid and no one else has taken it. But for your password, it's going to give you all these criteria that you have to meet for your password to be valid and, secured, what they always say. At the bottom of it, it says, the passwords cannot contain certain things, such as, what's on the bottom. After that, you'll click continue. You'll let it load. After that, it'll save all your information. You'll go to this next page, and it's an email verification. So the only thing it's going to do is obviously from here, you're going to go to your email after you read all your stuff, making sure that your email is correct. And once you go to your actual email that you put in for the PSI website for your scheduling, you'll open another web page if you like. For me, it's Yahoo. You can put Gmail, Hotmail, whatever you like. You'll go to your email. Obviously, it's right there. You click verify email. Now you go back to the PSI website where it leads to the next slide or next page of PSI. This is where you're going to have your registration. You're going to add more information about yourself. So you're going to add your date of birth, month, date, and year. Make sure you verify your first, middle, last, and a suffix if you have one. Make sure that's correct and it's typed out correctly. You're going to put in a phone number, a city, the state and zip code, country that you live in, and then your citizenship. So once you go down, you'll make sure everything is green. Obviously, that means it is good to go. Once you go from there, you have so many other countries that you could put in. And obviously for me, like I mentioned, I'm in California, so mine's going to be in the US. And you'll go to your citizenship and put in whatever citizenship you will like. And then it'll ask you the bottom question: are you an active U.S. military member, dependent? For me, I am considered an active U.S. member due to the National Guard. It gives you the options right here of, what are you? How do you fall in as an active U.S. military member or a dependent? Obviously, you can answer these questions, whichever one it is, whichever one applies to you. You could be an active duty yourself. You could be a dependent, such as a spouse, children. You could be a retiree. So just be mindful about that. It also has other ones such as department, if you work as a civilian under the Department of Defense or Department of Homeland Security. So just be mindful about that as well. So if you fall under any type of military, whether it's yourself or a family member, or you're related to someone that's your spouse or your parent, you'll fall under that category. You'll click register. You'll let it load. After that is registration complete. And then it will send you to this next page where it has all the exams that you can take for aviation. And like I said, it's not only airplanes, it has helicopters, gliders, you name it. Anything that deals with aviation, your exams will be on here. So just be mindful about it. On the top, you'll search whatever license you'll look for. For me, like I mentioned, it's going to be private pilot. And then obviously it falls right there, private pilot airplane. Be mindful that you're looking at the right one because there are multiple private pilots, as you can see down here. They fall under different types of categories. They got private pilot airship, private pilot balloon hot air. So be mindful that you are selecting the appropriate exam. You'll click select for the exam that you want. And this is what I mean. Make sure because it'll let you know and it gives you verifications about if you select the wrong exam, you pay for it and do not cancel it more than 24 hours before your appointment, you will not be refunded your money back. Like I said, these exams could weigh in between, I believe, $100 to about $350, depending on what kind of exam you're taking. So just be mindful about that. It gives you numerous warning signs about, confirming. Are you sure you want to take this exam? Are you sure? Because there will not be any refunds after you select it. So be mindful. Double check of which exam you are taking for your license certificate, and that way you know what knowledge exam to take. After you're aware of it, you're gonna click on it. You're gonna click submit, and then you'll go to this area where it'll load, and now you have to, most of the time, most exams are, you have to have an endorsement. Not all of them, but majority of, at least for the airplane, for myself, will have an endorsement that you will have. If you're going through like a schooling, obviously, it's going to be different. The first thing you're going to do is number of exam attempts. How many times have you taken the exam? If this is the first time, you're going to put one, like myself. If you've taken it once and you failed it, obviously that's going to be your second time, third time, and so on. So you're going to put that. Next category is your school or experience. This is mainly your endorsement area right here. You're going to put your schooling, or you're going to put other. So just always be mindful about that. For schooling, obviously that's where you're going to have to find the schooling of aviation that you're going through and go from there. It's broken down to country, state, and then your schooling. You'll put your school graduation / completion date if that applies. But for the most part, for me, I fall under other. Like I said, I didn't go to any university or any schooling for it, so I have an endorsement through an instructor. So once you click other, you'll go down to the bottom. You could read the authorization category if you like. You'll click other statement or endorsement of eligibility. That's where I fall under, because I have an endorsement by someone else that's endorsing me. You'll click submit. You'll give you this next section where if pretty much like the equal opportunity stuff, where if you need accommodations such as extra time, you can put none, 50% time extension. Other, such as your reader, you need to include all that. Approved breaks, separate testing room, alternate mouse to your left hand if you're a lefty. Other, and then you put your reasoning of other, whatever medical information you would like. Not medical information, doesn't want you to put that, but anything that you believe that you may need. For me, I put no accommodation needed. I click continue. It'll ask you again to verify. Are you sure? You'll click continue. Once you click continue, you'll get sent to this next page as you go on. And this is where your scheduling procedures will apply. It'll tell you, if you want to read all this, it'll let you know allowed materials and then prohibited materials at the site. Just be mindful. What I've heard and what I've kind of seen so far is every testing site is different. So just be mindful. You don't have to take a lot. Be mindful about that. All you really need is, if you want, just take one pencil, one pen, your E6 calculator, just a regular one, a regular standard calculator, and a plotter, and that's pretty much it. And they're supposed to provide you, most of the time they provide you with all that stuff, but if you need to, just take that just in case if they don't have it, or you feel comfortable using like your E6 calculator and all that stuff. They'll most likely accommodate that. They'll explain all the details. If you're more than 30 minutes late, your appointment is, can be canceled and you will not be issued a refund. They said, if you go to these exams, the allowed materials and prohibited materials, they'll work with you. They'll let you know, hey, we have a locker, or just store all your stuff over here because you can't have this, and this. They'll work with you. I don't believe there's anything that's very strict. For the most part, there may be someone out there that's very strict about it. But for the most part, as long as you show up with your required stuff, and they say, you don't need that, or you don't need to take it in there. We'll provide you with that. Just take it back to your car, or give it to a buddy or something that's maybe with you while you're taking the exam. But for the most part, people from aviation are very laid back with that information before you take the test. So make sure you're not, caught cheating or anything like that. It's not really worth it. And as I mentioned, if you want to read it, by all means, that's pretty much all it says. And then at the bottom, it'll give you, by clicking on the I understand and agree, you're acknowledging it, that you read it and stuff like that. Once you click on it, you'll click on I understand and agree. You'll go back to the scheduling exam. This is the site that you'll be on, or the main page. Once it loads, it'll categorize your scheduled exam. You could select your country, your postal code, select a distance, or your postal code is your zip code. Select the distance from that zip code, how far you want it to be, and then you break it down miles or kilometers. And then you could choose a date range from what date you would like to go and take your exam. You'll click search. Once you click search, at the bottom is going to pretty much give you everything that's within that radius of what you put for your zip code, and then the radius that you're willing to drive. It'll break it down to the area that it's what is called the aviation place. It'll break it down to the address that it has. It got your date, the day and date. It'll even have the times broken down for you. So it is kind of friendly on that situation. It says, like, for that instance, 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. It doesn't mean you have to be there at 11:30. Obviously, it helps out just to be there at 11:30, because most of the time, depending on your exam, most exams are within an hour to 2 hours. So just be mindful about when or how long your exams are. After that, you click schedule, and once you click schedule, you are good to go for your exam. And like I said, after you click schedule, it'll send you to the page where now you have to just verify everything is correct. You will then pay for it through the website. And like I said, that can vary depending on what instrument or what category you're looking into, aviation. And from then on, you go from there. Once you confirm it and you paid it off, most of the time it'll email you a receipt. But if not, it'll show up a receipt that it's completed, it's paid for, and so on. And make sure you print those out. For me, I always print them out just in case, just to be on the safe side. Just in case if something happens, at least they know that I did pay for it, and I have the emails to prove it. Plus, I also printed out the receipt. As well as it's also a tax write-off, so be mindful about that, because if this is a career path, now you're using it as employment write-off as well, because you have to take this exam for your employment, so it is a tax write-off. So I'm not a accountant or anything like that, so I have to put that out there. I'm not an accountant, but you could run that through your tax preparer, and they'll give you more information on that. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. After you confirm, you pay it, you get your confirmation, you are good to go, because you will need that confirmation when you go take the exam. So you'll have your confirmation on that sheet. Once you go take the exam, it'll tell you enter your confirmation, and then that's the same confirmation you have to input into the exam. So that way it takes you to the exam portion, and then that's where you're able to take your exam. And other than that, good luck, guys, on your exams. Good luck on the aviation journey. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please drop your comment down below. Other than that, I look forward to helping you guys on the next journey.